Yeah, it's my birthday. I'm still feeling it a little bit.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy belated.
It was also Richard's birthday. We share a birthday. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Richard.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is the birthday parody dropping in like 20 minutes?
Probably not. I have one coming out tomorrow, but yeah.
The Stevie Wonder, Richard Parham rendition?
Is that the snow?
I'm still mad you didn't do Barbie Girl.
I missed that. I should have been more on top of Barbie or Oppenheimer or the mixture of the two, but I need to get better at being like a month ahead of trends on songs.
Yeah, I had
You're
an
selling
Oppenheimer
real estate.
idea, but I needed like some severe CGI effects and lots of actors and stuff, and it would have taken months to do. So I scrapped it.
I have
All right, is everyone ready? I'll wait for Kristen to get back and we'll get started. Sorry, I'm a little out of
I have
it.
at least two or
My
three
birthday
songs
weekend.
that just need too many actors to produce at this point.
Feel that.
I think Sean
Right.
just rolled out of bed 5 minutes ago.
It's my birthday weekend, all right? Don't judge me.
Except it's
All right,
Monday.
everyone. Huh?
Except it's Monday now.
That's okay. My birthday is actually yesterday. So.
It's his birthday month.
My lens is as foggy as Sean's eyes. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Now I'm ready for you
That's
guys.
rude. Okay, everyone. We have a very special guest today. He's a dear friend of mine. He is my mentor. All the way from Southern California, we have Krys Benyamein. Chris, can we get those clap sound effects in here yet?
No, I don't have the roadcaster set up. Sorry.
Did I
Thanks,
say your last
Sean.
name right there, Krys? I feel like I said it weird there.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. Benjamin.
Thank you, buddy. All right, so
Thank
Krys,
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your market, how you got into real estate. You used to be a lawyer, right? You started
That
as a
is
lawyer
true.
and switched over to real estate. Let's get a little background on you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say some of this group knows me already. My name is Krys. I am from Southern California. I just want to say thank you to Kristen and Giancarlo and Sean and whoever else was like in the works for asking me to be a part of this. I am very flattered. And even though a bunch of you guys I talk to probably like every other day, it's nice to come hang out with you on a Monday. Yeah, I'm from Southern California. I was born and raised in Orange County, California. I left when I turned 18 to go to college and law school. I was gone for like 11 years. I practiced law in Northern Nevada, Reno, at Lake Tahoe, if you guys know where that is. And I met my now wife, who was moving to San Diego to start her residency, to start her surgical training. And I loved being a lawyer. I thought it was a lot of fun, but I didn't think it was like what I had to be doing. So I just rented out my house. I quit my job, and my family has been in real estate. I want to say Richard, Sean, Kelly, Wes, even. I think all you guys have met my mom, but my mom has been in the business, and she is my mentor, and she really is sort of why I'm doing this. So she's been in it 34 years. I joined her in the family business in 2018, and I've been doing it full time. To give you guys some context we're doing about 100 to 115 transactions a year. This year, we're kind of on pace to do similar to last year. I'm at about 52 deals pending and closed. I'm at like 40 million in volume, and it's behind on my goal, transparently. That might be similar for some of you guys. But I'm pretty happy given like the baby and everything else going on in my life. I only share these things with you because I wanted to give it context to whatever we jump into and talk about, because I love making content. I know this group loves making content, but I'm selling houses, and I don't want it to get mistaken that like I'm not making content for any other reason than to sell houses.
Yeah, no, the reason I wanted to get your bio as well is because when we're going to post this to YouTube and we break it all down, there's going to be a ton of people that watch this, hopefully, that don't know you. So I wanted to get a bit of a background information on that.
Thank you. Well, I really want to give everyone that's here, because you guys were kind enough to show up at 9 on the West Coast, noon for the rest of you, on a Monday, which is kind of a big deal. So if you're watching it later, I'm talking to you guys.
Good. So 115 deals. How many team members is it for you to get to that many?
Yeah, so the year we did 115 was 2021, probably some of the best year for many of us in the room. And that was Nahid and I, as mainly the Rainmakers, which is pretty consistent what it is now. And I had two agents in the field helping us, buyer-esque agents. And then separately, I have a transaction coordinator in-house. I tried to do the out-house transaction coordination stuff. And I think just because of my mom's age and her work style, she is very much not about the remote type work. And I think with the transaction and the volume that we carry, it's just helpful for it to be in-house. So our transaction coordinator is in-house. We have a full-time admin who helps me a lot with the distribution of content. And then as a result of this machine becoming very expensive, I think in 2022, I spent a little bit under $90,000 in video marketing between myself, Nahid, and all my listings. I said that it was probably time to figure out how to do it more economically. So now I have it in-house and I'm paying somebody full-time on salary, and it's saving a lot of money.
So if you follow, oh, Kristen, do you want to say something?
No.
Oh, I thought your thing popped up. So if you follow Krys, like he's a video machine. You post more original videos than anyone I've ever met. So what you're saying is you have a guy that films you. Like you pay a videographer. You said you spent about 90,000 in video. You have a videographer, so I guess you meet him once a week. You do a million videos a day, 12 videos a day. You told me one time, and or 12 videos every time you meet him. And then you have someone that posts that everywhere for you. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So sort of, and it didn't start there. So when it started for me, like 2018, it was right after one of the Tom Ferry, I think it was after Elite Retreat. I went to Elite Retreat, had just stopped practicing law. Tom is on stage saying exactly what he's saying today, like make video or die, you know? So I just started making video, and it wasn't sophisticated. It wasn't sexy. I don't know who was around watching me back then. I don't think I knew any of you guys. Maybe Andrew. I don't know if any of you guys were around when I was holding up like the Keeping Current Matters chart, but I used to just hold up a chart that I would find on Keeping Current Matters, and I would just point and talk to it. And I've shared that story, but it wasn't sexy. It wasn't sophisticated. This was pre-Instagram Reels. I did it once a week with no help really from anybody, just because it was all that I had the bandwidth to do. And then after about a year, no joke, a full year of posting once a week, I said I want to do more. So I hired a videographer or team. I outsourced it. And that's what Sean's referring to. So up until January of 2023, I was filming content with a media team twice a month, all day. So 2 times a month. It was $3,500 a month. That's how much it used to cost me. Just for myself. This wasn't my listings. This wasn't like stuff for Nahid. 2 days a month, I could shoot as much content as I could create for $3,500 a month. And that was my routine for probably 3 years. And for multiple reasons, I wanted to scale and grow bigger, right? I wanted to leverage them for my listings. I wanted to do more for my listings. I kind of wanted to be able to have them more at my just more resource. However, and this is like something to learn when you hire somebody in-house, because they are at your fingertips, you are suddenly less organized to get done what you need to get done. So because I used to have these guys on the calendar twice a month, it was carved out, it was coming out of pocket. It was just like a production to get them scheduled because they have other clients. I would never flake. I would never cancel. I was always super prepared. Now, because Joaquin is on my payroll and he shows up whether I'm ready or not, I don't have the same like motivation or the same, I'll make excuses because I could just say, I'll film with you tomorrow. So yeah, transparently, that's kind of the reality when you have abundance, is you can sort of push things off.
So you went from making little chart videos with your iPhone or whatever, right? Probably terrible lighting, not known as to this big production thing, and you're spending all this money. Was that a terrifying experience to switch over to that?
It was it terrifying? You know, I think it's all terrifying to an extent because none of this stuff is working until it works, right? So it's like you're out door knocking, you're out sending mailers, and there is just a very slow return on investment. So I think what got me through a lot of the lull is I enjoy doing it. I mean, realistically, like we could look at a calendar, or maybe I could pull up one of those analytics charts, but I didn't get shit engagement. I didn't get any, like, I didn't get no love for the internet for maybe 18 months of posting every day. 5 days a week. Like
Yeah.
Monday, when I say every day, I mean Monday through Friday for like, I would say probably 18 months before somebody sort of noticed me, reshared it, and then it kind of built the juice. Where I'm at today, and if you guys go dive into my shit, it's not like I'm going viral. Like I'm not popping off like that. What I've committed to is being relentlessly consistent because the work can speak for itself. And that's the piece that I just, it's easy to lose sight of when we're like, how many shares did it get? How many views did it get? How much this, how much that? When in reality, like, I don't need nobody else's affirmation. I wake up every day. I know what I need to do. It's what I check off as like a measure of productivity for me. And now I think people recognize like, this kid's a fucking machine. Like he just continues to show up. And I'm proud of that. Like you earn that, not with views, just with consistency.
Like I respect the crap out of that because if I get one video now that doesn't do that well, I'm like, I don't want to make another video for a while. I still do, but like I get so discouraged. So you kept making these videos without even knowing where it was going or the traction, and you just kept at it. And now you're one of the most well-known realtor video guys. Like I was lucky that one of my first videos did very well, so that encouraged the shit out of me. Right? It was a dumb video, nothing to do with real estate, but it still encouraged me to want to make video. You just went out
Right.
there and had a dream and kept pushing through that.
Well, I also think that it has to do with my perception of life. And I don't mean that to be cheesy, but like I will definitely point to things that I want to point at and say, this is a sign, this is a result, and it fills up my cup. So this is I think like an ethnic joke. Maybe I don't know, you guys have heard, but like I had heard that like babies bring abundance, right? My mom was like, oh, just wait, babies bring abundance. Like in Egyptian culture, babies bring abundance. And the baby brought me a tremendous amount of anxiety and stress. I think a bunch of you guys have babies and like they're a bunch of work, right? They're really hard. And my mom
I
just
never
said
met any of
babies,
mine, so I don't know. I'm just kidding.
well, sell as many houses as you can until you do. So long story short, the baby brings me stress because it's taking me away from work. But instead of looking at some of the W's that I'm getting and say, you know, it's as a result of this or a result of that, how about I say it's an abundance that the baby is bringing me? You know what I mean? So like maybe that transaction, that call that I missed, but the call that I picked up when I was supposed to because the kid finally went to sleep, that was the universe sort of throwing me a bone. And I think it's important to recognize that, you know what I mean? One fucking video that had nothing to do with me getting a deal brought me to Richard. Richard brought me 2 transactions, you know? One
Wow.
video that got no love. You want to know what video did it? It was Andrew Doobie's. The what's it called? I think that was like what started the conversation with either Richard or Jen. I got a referral from the video that I made covering you, Andrew, the Janet Jackson video.
Oh, the
Way
Janet Jackson one.
Yeah, the Janet Jackson video got me a referral, and I would have to go back and look at how it performed, but I remember thinking like, damn, this thing only got like 1,000 views, but it don't matter. It don't matter.
So you're getting, that's another thing people don't realize too when they're like, oh, why would you make content for other agents? Why do I care if 1 million agents are following me? I know personally a bunch of agents that have sent you referrals to California, which is like such a competitive market because they know you first. They want to do business with you. So how big has your business grown from agent to agent referrals? Because it's a huge part of my business now too. So I want to see how it's doing for you.
Yeah, so you know, it's growing. This year I've done 4 agent to agent referrals. I would have to count how many I did last year. To be honest, 3 of them are as a result of people on the Zoom. I got 2 from Jamie and I got 1 from Richard. You know, I honestly, and I mean this respectfully for whoever watches this after, and I'm not going to name any names, but I feel like there is a camp on the internet or groups of people that want to tear down other agents for like the stuff that they're making. And I just don't think there's room for it. In my opinion, when people get on the internet and start ripping you, they've got too much fucking time on their hands. And like, that's fuel on your fire. If you want to make agent to agent content, you better make it better than anybody else. And if you want to make agent to agent content, you better give some fucking value and connect with these people and like serve them and do whatever it is better than other agents. I was making the joke earlier, but this is the truth. I spend so much time on the phone with real estate agents about God knows what. I don't get paid for it. They don't break me off. I just like don't know how to say no. And I feel like the universe gives me deals. Maybe I would get more deals if I stuck with what I needed to do. But if you want to make agent content, do it and just fucking do it good and turn off the noise. And haters are going to hate. And if it's not working, stop doing it and try something else. Like, everyone's so caught. It's so tough in our industry because the machismo is like oozing through everyone's pores. And like, I'm guilty of it too, in the sense of we're only highlighting the wins. But part of the reason why people only want to share the wins is because it sucks to see negative shit. Why do people scroll by that stuff? Because it zaps you, right? Like, if your feed is black, it's probably because like you're looking at black shit. And when I mean black, I mean like negative.
Yeah.
You guys following me?
Yeah.
So
I agree with you big time. I always say hate comes from beneath. So if people are sitting there hating on you, they're jealous of you, or they're you know what I mean? They wish they were doing what you're doing, right?
and that's my point, when you become making such noise that you are undeniable. That's like the point. It's like, say what you want. This is what's happening in my life and it's working out just fine. And you can point to the referrals you're getting. You can point to the transactions. You can point to the opportunities. I mean, I even look at it like this. Do you know how many opportunities I've had to do Zooms like this that result in more opportunities for me?
Oh, 100%. That, like, if I think of California, I'm thinking of you 100%. And North California, I got my other people, but I'm thinking South California, thinking of you.
I
And like
appreciate you, man.
I admit I hate Kristen because she does so well. But that's the only reason I hate her. So I'm just so jealous of her. So I know how it is.
I also think for me and like the business, when it comes to content, is I really like it. If you guys don't like this aspect of the business, then probably don't do it. I think I saw something on the internet the other day that really resonated with me. And it was like, if you end the day exhausted, if you are finishing the day just zapped from your clients, zapped from just the routine roller coaster ride of emotions, zapped from the demands of this industry, and you feel like it every single day, is it for you? Is it for you? And I'm not trying to give anybody an out. I just say, if you hate making phone calls, you hate talking to clients, you hate making content, you hate houses, we can make a lot of money doing a lot of things. We can make a lot of money doing a lot of things. So you have to find pieces of the business that you really enjoy. I make content consistently because I love making content consistently. Now, he is on the phone
That's another big
consistently.
thing. That's another
Go ahead.
big thing me and you've talked about, actually, though. Like, if you hate doing it, you're right, it's not for you, because we've gotten to a point where we hate not doing it. If I don't make content, I have extreme anxiety. If I don't do my calls that week, I have this extreme anxiety telling me I need to do something, right?
Right.
But again, that took time, right? Like, at first, I had a lot of anxiety doing a lot of this stuff, but I knew I needed to do it. And then the more I did it and got better at it and built a routine, now I hate not doing it.
Right, right. I think in everything in life, there are pieces that you like and pieces you don't like, and all of it that you're required to do. And there is a misconception that because we're adults or entrepreneurs or self-employed, that because I don't like something means that I get to skip it. And that is where I think agents need to wake the fuck up, because I don't like I don't like a lot of types of cardio. Like, if I'm training for something, I don't like it, but I do it because I have to do it. So, I mean, if you're not picking up the phone, I keep coming back to this, but like, videos are dope. Videos are wonderful. But if you're not doing the other pieces that align with the video, then I think 2024, you should evaluate your business plan, because there's a lot more to be done. A lot more to be done. And what I mean by that is actively pursuing people. Like, like starting engagement in the DMs. Like, if you're not having conversations with people, start doing that. If you're not on the phone, if you're not sending mailers, if you're not door knocking, like, you're not doing the traditional means of the business. That's why I think our videos are so successful, not just because they're by themselves.
Oh, I 1000% agree. And the thing is, though, people like they look at like you. I'm not going to even put myself in the same category as you, because I think your levels above me. But we look at people like you, and we're like, I can never do that. I can't do that. But like I said, when you come in here, you started with charts. You started small. This didn't happen overnight. So, and it's the same thing with door knocking and DMs. Do one a day. Like, you don't have to do 20 a day to start. Start small and build on that. Do one. If I tell people, if you're scared of door knock, bang on one door. That's it. If no one answers, start there. One door and
Yeah.
then go home. and grow from that, just so you get
And-
going, right?
Right. And then I would say, because like a lot of us have the muscle of content on autopilot to an extent, like I think a lot of us are pretty good at making content now and have that dialed in. If you know you're good at making content, if that's easy for you, then don't do it at the beginning of the day. If something is easy for you, save that shit for later when you don't need a lot of mental space to do it. We're only going to do a few things very, very well every single day. Only a few things very well. So if one of those things that you're doing very well, but it's taken a lot of bandwidth and you might not recognize that it is posting your content, coming up with it and posting your content that day, save it for later, because the morning is generally your most productive, like your most productive time. So if getting in front of the camera is very difficult for you, that is like the heaviest lifting. You should definitely record your content first thing in the morning. Do not save that shit for 4 p.m. But if getting in front of the camera is easy for you, film that shit at the end of the day, because you're wasting your resources on something that you don't need to. You guys know why Zuckerberg wears a black t-shirt every day? You guys have seen this? You guys know this?
You actually
You
told me
know-
about this, but I want you to tell us. Tell
You
me
guys know
again.
Steve
I learned
Jobs
this from
before he
you.
died? Yeah, it's fact. Go look at any picture of Steve Jobs. Yeah, Richard knows where I'm going with this. Steve Jobs wore a black t-shirt pretty much till he died. He did it because he said that you can only make a few good decisions every single day, and I would not waste one of my decisions on the shirt that I'm wearing. So I wear a black one every single day. And I was really like moved by that. So whatever is the heaviest lifting in your business, do it first. And if that's going to be picking up the phone, do it first. It's too early. People aren't up at 8 a.m. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Call it 7.
What's
That's a
that
limiting
saying?
belief.
Eat the frog. Eat the frog
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. Isn't that how it goes? Something like that.
I don't know it exactly, but I have heard something similar to that. And you definitely got to eat the frog first thing in the morning. And then I would
do what's
say,
hard first.
yeah, do what's hard first and do little things that are measurable, like have multiple categories. So like here, my categories. I try to have 10 conversations every single day. This is like not sexy. I could give you guys the formula of how you come up to how many conversations you want, but 10, right? That's just like my number, conversations about real estate. That's not 10 voicemails. That's not 10 phone calls. That's not 10 fuck you. It's like some sort of conversation about real estate. You guys following me?
Yep.
10. One video posted every day. The gym.
And as overwhelming as that sounds for a lot of people, you're not ashamed to admit you have a lot of help. Like you'll put the money out. You have your admins and all of your assistants and your team. You have everyone helping you be what you want to be, right? You're not a one-man team.
I'm not a one-man team, but even if you are a one-man team, there's all scale to this, right? So like posting one video a day doesn't mean that you're posting it on 15 platforms. Posting one video a day could mean just posting it on Instagram if you're a party of one right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think whatever it is, whatever resource you have, whatever investment you're willing to make in your business, you have to lean into it. And I personally think that if you think you're not investing, like if you're not paying for a videographer and you think you're saving money, I would really encourage you to look at what you're spending on and see if you can allocate some resources. Look at all your like auto subscriptions, look at like how much you're paying on Prime, cancel Showtime, all that shit adds up, right? And find an editor on Fiverr. Wes, you had a guy on Fiverr in Pakistan, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's called resourceful and cheap. How much was he charging you, Wes?
$7 a video.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Less than a Netflix subscription.
I love Fiverr. My comic book was from Fiverr. My the animation, the claymation, it's all Fiverr, right? I always hire these guys from Fiverr.
And like this is another thing. I'm getting soapboxy, but just don't think because you're busy means that you're doing work. So I mean this very respectfully because I know I have editors.
Oh, be
here.
mean to
No.
us.
I mean this with love because like I love everyone in here, even the new people. What's your name down here in the corner? Danny. Good to meet you, Danny. Lindley. Oh, Lindley. I know Lindley. Benalina. I know you.
Danny.
Roy,
Danny was with us last year in Dallas.
I can't see her. I'm sorry. She's so far. Hi, Danny. Good to meet you. Oh, I do recognize you. What's up? Good to see you again. I'm sorry. If you find joy in parts of the business, what's up, Dan? I didn't even say hi to fucking Dan all morning. Dan, the reason why is because I literally was just messaging you right before we jumped on this. Like, I think you're muted, my guy, or something. Am I the only one that can't hear Dan?
I can't hear Dan. Dan, you're muted. That's okay. He just wants to listen today.
All I wanted to say, and I mean it with love, if you find joy editing content, edit the content. Edit the fucking content. You like learning about Photoshop, you want to make things with Illustrator and Premiere, do it. Do it. But if you are sitting on YouTube or you fucking call me and you're just like, I hate this, what am I doing? You're not being productive. Like, you're being busy. Go sell a house, go do something that's going to move the needle, or go do something that's going to give you some satisfaction. That's my point. So it's like Richard loves editing, or Richard edits his stuff. I really hope, Richard, that you are not like loathing the process, that it's like cathartic. Maybe you smoke a little weed, have a drink, or you do something that like makes it enjoyable.
No, I definitely, it's hard for me to want to give up editing because that's normally where I find the story, and the storytelling is what I enjoy. So, but I also do it on like my free time or while I'm watching like TV with my wife or something. So it's,
I guess that's my
something I
point.
do in the background.
Yeah, I guess that's like if it's in the background and something that you're like enjoying, all I'm saying is if you're not hitting the goals that you want to be hitting and you're editing videos and you don't like editing videos, I think it's time to stop editing videos. Is that like, is that simple enough?
No,
And
I love that because I edit all my own videos, right? But I love editing. I like it to be my style. Like if someone else edits my
right,
stuff, I always change it. But
right,
we're editing short clips for what we're doing here, and I hate doing that. So we just hired someone. You know what I mean? So I'm
exactly,
outsourcing these now because it's not as exciting to me to do the fun, silly videos. It's not art to me.
right,
It's just clipping something down. So when me and Kristen and BA hired someone, whereas
right.
anything else I've hired people before and they did an amazing jobs, but it wasn't mine. So I had to redo the whole thing.
Right.
Right. So, but that's just me personally. I love doing it. I'll stay up till 5 a.m. editing and be so happy.
I think you got to get into it. I mean, have any of you guys gotten to the flow state when you're making phone calls and next thing you know, it's like 4 hours later because you're winning? You're just like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I'm on a heater. It's like 4 appointments later, 5 appointments later, 6 appointments later. It's because it takes a minute to get into that. And then you find yourself liking it and you just keep going. I think a lot of the businesses like that is that you got to give yourself enough time to get flowing. And it's not as bad once you're going, but it's hard from the starting line. Like it's hard to go from 0 to 60, but 60 to 80 is much easier. You know what I'm saying? So I guess like to help anybody go from 0 to 60, the few things that I would say is like give yourself a few very small goals that you can do every day that make you feel really, really good about yourself, because big goals will make you feel bad about yourself. So if 1 video a day is too much, maybe it's 1 video a week, maybe it's 2 videos a week. 10 conversations is too much, maybe it's 2 conversations a day, maybe it's 2 appointments a week. But it's like small measurable things that you can like fill up your cup. I got a lot of this from Sean, but I just think it's really important to like have something you check off your list every day and feel good about, especially in this business. Like we're not getting paid, like it just all the gratification is delayed, right? Like escrows take time to close, advertisements take time to click.
And another big thing that people underestimate that like is working together. Like I learn a lot from Krys and Kristen, everyone here is that kind of thing. Like Kristen, how scared were you to even talk on camera for like your first couple of years? People don't even believe me when I tell them how nervous you were to be on camera when we first met.
I can tell you in May of last year, Venelina sent me a voice memo DM, and I was too shy to even voice DM her back. I had to type it out. And that was 14 months ago. So
When
I'm
I hang
still
out with
nervous.
BA and Kristen, I scream at BA to be in my videos to get his parts done, right? But like then we come up with hilarious content because we're all supporting each other kind of thing, right?
I think that's the best part, is that the industry is elevated as a result of each one of us getting better. And that's like one thing that I really like is that, I mean, as you guys have started this and I see your email every week and I see the value you're giving, it's motivating me to be like, your shit better stay like top notch, or your shit better get better, because it's motivating, it's encouraging. You know, there's some relentless people in here showing up consistently, and it's not a competition, but it just shows you. It's like when the 4 mile, do you guys, okay, I'm going to give you guys an anecdote, and then I want to give you guys like a couple video ideas unless people have questions. I can stop and I can just give you guys questions if anybody has questions.
No,
But I
no,
wanted to
go,
give
go,
you
go.
some-
People, raise your hands if you have any questions, and we'll tune you in here. I haven't been checking the chat, but
I haven't been either.
I'm
Okay.
watching it. There's no question.
So I'm going to share this like anecdote, and this is like what I think is happening with the industry. It's not totally novel. So the first man to climb all 14 8,000 meter peaks, that's 26,000 feet and above for Americans here, was a man named Reinhold Messner. And he did it in the 80s, and it took him 7 years to climb 14 mountains with no supplemental oxygen. The world didn't think it could be possible. A year ago, a guy named Nimsday, who you guys have seen on Netflix, made the movie called 14 Peaks, and he climbed all 14 biggest mountains in the world in 7 months. 7 months. A week ago, a Norwegian woman, they said it was never going to be possible, a Norwegian woman did all 14 peaks in 91 days with no supplemental oxygen. 91 days. 91 days. My point is, as soon as we begin to realize that like somebody is doing something and they can do it well and they can make a living off of it and like it's real, it becomes way more tangible for the rest of us. So like as Richard is carving out a space to make parodies, I think it's important, Richard, that you recognize that like the heels of all the parody makers are like looking to you, because when you've built a business making this kind of stuff, people realize that it's real. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing for all the rest of us doing whatever we're doing is like, people don't think that this is legitimate until it is legitimate. And I think that's inspiring. And it's not easy to be the trailblazer. It's not easy when the fucking community wants to shit on you because you're not making like community-based content, but you just do what feels right to you. And it's going to come. Like, I don't have any fucking doubt that it's going to come.
yeah. And I always say, like, ignore, it's called flurries of activity. Like some of these big media accounts, they change their minds every week what we're supposed to be doing. They say, be funny, don't be original, or like they're do trends, and they say that they hate trends, right? So it
Right.
gets so overwhelming. Whereas if you gotta just stay on what you're doing, what's working for you and what you like doing, and just stick to that and master that.
Right. I'm going to give you guys a couple things that I'm doing that are really working, unless people have questions, like shit that you guys can go out and do that it's like getting me business. Number one, my for sale signs. I just reprinted all my for sale signs. Let me see if I can like share my screen. Long story short, I've reprinted all my for sale signs, and I have a QR code that says scan here for instant pictures and 360 video tour. The ticket is not for them to go to your custom listing website that we all make for our houses. The reason why that website, in my opinion, is not that dynamite is because it doesn't capture anybody's information. Who else is a Sierra user? Dan, you know what I'm talking about. The challenge, Dan, is that landing page does not capture anybody's shit unless they type contact us. This is the hack. You know how we have the IDX feed? Who has like an IDX feed through their website? If you have an IDX feed through your website, the chances are it makes you log in before you can look at the houses. At least with ours on Sierra, you have to log in with Google or Facebook. You guys know what I'm talking about? I've been generating probably 6 organic free leads a week. They haven't converted yet, but people just walking by my for sale sign. It's not sophisticated. It's not sexy. It's like old school marketing. It's just like leveraging a QR code in a new way.
That's genius. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Do you guys like that
genius. That's genius, because if anyone doesn't know, like if anyone's looking, they're just looking at these. I get calls all the time on these listings, but to throw them into an automatic feed system into your CRM, that's just awesome, because they're just automatically signed in to, and they feel so easy with the Google or Facebook login. So I don't know, that's awesome. That's genius.
Yeah, thank you. So this is it right here. If you guys want to see it, it's not super sophisticated. All Stars Realty, that's my brokerage. My team is a State of Grace for sale.
Will you post that to the Facebook group after, Chris, just in case?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, can I just do this just in case I fuck up? Can I just send it to you, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll post it.
Now you guys are wondering, like, how do you program it? Is it a dynamic QR code? I don't know if I know what a dynamic QR code means, but let me tell you how I do it, and then maybe that'll answer the question. I had the printer so I printed 6 signs, 6 new signs. I had the printer put a custom code on the corner of each side of the sign. So each sign will say 001 on the front, 001 on the back. When it gets sent to the house, I won't know which sign is which. So I'll ask the seller, or I'll stop by the listing and I'll see which sign is like at the house. I'll send it to the guy who helped me with the QR codes, and then he'll program them. So I don't have to make new signs every time I get a new listing. Yeah, then it is dynamic. Thanks, Dan. Sorry, Jamie. So that's the first thing with my QR codes. Any questions on the sign? I probably generated, I could like look to count, but I've been doing it. I've had it on like 4 listings. I think I'm at like 23 free leads. Nobody's transacted. Some people don't even live in the area. They drive by, they scan it, they walk by, they scan it. They are the neighbors, they scan it. It's been pretty good though to have
Wait, so
conversations.
Chris, just to make sure I'm understanding, it's like when they scan the QR code, it takes them to a landing page to make them log into your website?
So it takes them to, with my website, what CRM are you using, Andrew?
I'm using Follow Up Boss.
I would guess, because Follow Up Boss is like a massive one, sort of like a Sierra, that they will have something very similar. So for example, if I were just to click on, I'm just like pulling up any random house. Let me just like pull up one of my listings and then I can show you guys this. Do you guys ever not know your listing's address? I'm just like, fuck, what's the address? Am I the only one?
So while Chris is pulling this up, I just want to tell everybody, before you get signs printed on QR codes, the difference between dynamic and, I forget the other word for it, non-dynamic, static ones, are the dynamic. You're able to change the link that's going later. So like Chris is saying, you're able to just print that one QR code in there and then just change it. Just make sure you're not producing a QR code, printing it, and then later you can't change it and then you have to pay another sign.
So because I'm logged into my own website, it won't show up, but like this is all through Sierra Interactive, right? So this isn't like agent image, nothing's too sophisticated. But if you were to come to my website, it's like easy to search for homes. Because I'm logged in, it's not going to populate. But if I was just to click on this house in Marietta, typically, like if you were to go to my website, a box would show up right in the middle that says sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook to view the pictures. So it's not super invasive. It's that pop-up that everyone's familiar with. And then they could like scroll through the photos. And that I've found a lot more success than my custom website. That's one thing that I've done in the last 2 months that's generated some business for me. You guys want another one?
Chris, is that, just so I understand though, is it your website that's ultimately triggering that, or is it the IDX plugin that's triggering that?
It's my website that's ultimately triggering that. So if somebody goes to my website organically, the lead is going to be classified the same on my CRM, which means when I'm on the phone with the prospect, I always say, how did you find this? I have to figure out where they really came from, because my dynamic, like I'm just not, I wasn't going to prevent launching this idea with the hurdle of having to make custom codes for every different place that people could find it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really the next step, is like when they scan, I know it's from this. When they scan here, I know it's from this. I just don't have it dialed like that yet. Did that make sense?
Yeah, like so you're saying like the best thing to have on your sign is a call to action rather than just some big fancy picture where you look good, which is what more people are worried about.
Fuck yeah. I think that the picture is, you pick your poison. The reason I went with no picture is because when I surveyed like all the luxury brands in my market, nobody had a photo on their sign anymore. So that's like a personal thing. I don't think there's like a hard and fast rule. It's no big deal. I'm also trying to build a name beyond Krys Benyamein. Like I really want to establish a state of grace as like a little reputation so that I can step away from it one day. But I don't think there's any guesswork. I think you have to have one of two things, a QR code or a short forward number. So that's like another thing that people are killing. It's like dial 6969 for instant picks. People will dial that shit. But that's a little bit more complicated, right? Because you got to do a short form phone number, but that's another option. If you guys Google short form numbers, that's like a whole nother arena but it's like an easy way. You got to make it easy for people. Richard,
Yeah,
you got your hand
no,
up, or is
I
that an
agree.
old hand?
Oh,
Sorry,
Richard,
Sean.
give your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, all good. I mean, this is going. I'll comment on what you're talking about real quick, Chris. They also have like the text, like text that to this number, like a 4-number, 5-number text to get all that information as well that you can do. And those you can make like riders for those.
Yep.
So there's a lot of companies that like you can work with that do that. My question is kind of going back to social media. You said you started it basically in 2018, doing the
Mhm.
one a week. Can you just give a little bit of information of like where that kind of like hockey stick growth started coming? Like how long did it take until you started to see a return on like more followers, more people reaching out?
So early, even before I started posting content every single day, I saw the return on an investment because I was the person handling Nahid's account. So depending on who is messaging Nahid and depending on what time of day it is, you guys might be communicating with me. And that's okay. But I saw before I started posting content that it was generating a lot of conversations with her. So even before my first day, I saw like us bringing in transactions because I was coming up with her ideas, writing her scripts, posting her content. Like I was like producing and directing her shit. So I saw the benefit, and then I was like, man, I want to get a piece of this. Like I want to have conversations with people. I think there wasn't a lot of etiquette back then, or maybe there was and nobody taught it to me. But when I started posting every single day in 2020, so I guess it was like a year, October of 2018, I started posting content. 2019, I just did the once a week thing. 2020 during COVID is when I got it started really. And without any etiquette, I used to tag Tom Ferry and Jason Pantana and the broke agent and actually agents every single day. Every single day. And I wish somebody told me that was bad for them, but I didn't know any better. And I tagged them every single day because I said, these motherfuckers are going to know who I am and they're going to notice me. And it took a while, but I think maybe in 2020, Tom showed one of my videos and that was like a boost. I think early on, Eric might have shared a few of my videos and it was like a quick boost and then it was back to normal. I mean, even right now, Richard, like I honestly don't think that I was having, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble. I'm just not like, I am not the avatar of somebody who's found viral success quickly and early on. You know what I'm saying? And what am I talking about? Like, I still have not found it. Like I've built a community of just relentlessly showing up, but look at the videos. They're not doing these like double digit, quadruple digit numbers. They're just like, they've built me a little audience to talk to every single day. And that little audience is enough for me to do business. I don't know if that answers.
I would argue what you're doing is 10 times better than the viral success, because even if you have a viral video today, no one can, there's a million viral videos a day now. You still have to show up the next day. Like if you have one viral video and everything else sucks, that does nothing for you. And if you have a million steady videos where you're making connections.
Right. And you know, that really brings me to a point that I think this is a double-edged sword, this idea. And I think this idea will be what like catapults me to like ultimate success. I think it will also be what kills me. And that's okay. Like I will have lived a very happy life. But like, I think I guess, how do I articulate this? You're looking for your threshold, right? Like you're looking for like what your limit is, and you're looking for like what you can do and to be the best at it. And I think you can't find it unless you are like trying every day really hard. And I guess to say it more clearly, I don't think we are as good as anything more than our last video or our last transaction or like the last goal we accomplished. So it's a tough way to look at things. But if I sold and closed a $5 million transaction yesterday, I still have to wake up Monday and get to work, right? And Sean, your Timmy's video hit 2 million views. And how much did your life change?
Like it was cool for a bit, but again, look, I still had to make a video the next day. Like I just did one with Kristen on Friday. And I would guarantee like that one did 6,000 views and I got way more good engagement from that, right? Like I made way more connections in real estate connections from that 6,000 video than I did that 2 million video. Even though I got a
Right.
lot of leads from that 2 million video, it didn't do as much for me.
Right. I guess that's the point that I'm making is it's very difficult for us to measure ourselves by like one victory because I just don't think that's the way that I want to be. It gives me a lot of anxiety to think that my life will amount to like one or two things. And I think about the Everest thing because we're like, he climbed Everest. And I'm just like, fuck, if my whole existence only amounts to climbing one mountain, shit, I wish I should have done more. You know what I mean? Or so I want you guys to think about the content the same way is that it hits 1 million. So what? Hits 1 million the next day. So what? 100 the next day. So
Back in
what?
the day, if you got 1 million views, you were on Oprah. Nowadays, tomorrow 17 million other people will hit 1 million views. It doesn't mean
I don't
anything
even-
like it used to.
I don't mean even a million. Like I'm not being facetious. Even if it hits 1 billion views, even if it hits 100 million views, like what is changing? We're still waking up. We're still going to have to work. We're still going to have to provide. We're still going to be like just as self-conscious. We're still going to be just as critical of ourselves. You're still going to have to figure out a topic for next Monday's Zoom. It's the same shit. Like our life does not change based on these things. And that's why we can't measure ourselves by them because like get caught in the glory years. Like I'm trying to figure out what's next. Right? Because like
Here's what I
Everest was
learned
2
about-
fucking years ago.
Here's what I've learned about the people that chase the virality. They don't make videos anymore. Like last year, they'd make a trend and it would do so well. And then Instagram stopped pushing trends. They just kind of stopped making videos. They like didn't get that
Yeah.
boost of dopamine anymore. So now they didn't know what to do. They used to post 3 times a day. I see them maybe post once every 3 months now.
You guys want another one that's making us business? I signed 1 listing. I had 4 physical face-to-face appointments. Like this is like actually making us money. I can send you the link because I don't want to play the video. I got to go find it. But I ripped this off somebody in my market. I stand in front of a house. It's actually my teammate's video. And I was calling her leads because she was out of town. And I set 4 of them, signed 1 of them. I think that just means I'm better on the phone than she is. But she's in front of the house. She's holding a $100 bill. And she says, "Are you curious the value of your home? Would it be worth $100 to you? Even if you don't want to do anything, you could use it to take your family to dinner. All you need to do is meet with me and I'll give you this no catch." I don't know. It's better language than that, but it's in front of a house that looks like the farm that she's serving. And it's fucking crazy how many people would be willing to meet with you for a $100 bill. 4. I signed 1 listing, holding a $100 bill on camera. Say, just meet with me. And that's how the phone call goes. Like, hey, I saw you click on my advertisement. People are only clicking on the ad for 1 or 2 reasons. They're curious about selling because they want to go somewhere, or they're just like curious. And now I'm learning people want $100. Which one is you? Oh, I thought it was a joke, blah, 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 blah. And
So
then
how
you got
many
to meet with
$100
them.
bills are you giving out?
I've given 400.
Okay.
But let me
So it's not
ask you
just
guys
one-
this. How much is a Google PPC lead? $30?
Yeah.
How many Google PPC leads have you had? You hadn't even fucking talked to that person. I got this guy face to face in his house, giving him a $100 bill with all his contact info. I would give a $100 bill every single day. If you guys don't think you're paying more than $100 per transaction for that lead, think again. I mean, I make these jokes about these videos, but like I got a deal from Jamie, right? Jamie sent me a transaction. That deal that Jamie sent me another deal. Jamie sent me a deal because she sees me on the internet. I could do the math and try to figure out how much each one of my videos take. But if you think this stuff is free, it's not free. There's a cost to all of this, right? So think about that big picture because like, yeah, whether it's coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of somewhere. So that video is really producing a lot of results where it's like, click here to get the value of your house. I'll give you $100. That one is really good. I'm using the Sierra Interactive landing page, Dan, you know, the like get your home seller value type thing. That's like where I'm driving them to. And that's very successful for me. The last thing.
So Chris, real quick on that, because
yeah.
I get, just so anyone knows, because of where everything is going in the United States with seller things, listings, getting listings is huge. So if you're not utilizing a listing, Chris is talking about like finding the value of someone's home. I think I own like 6 or 8 domains that shoot people to these websites, and I run like, I don't know, $100 on each of these a month, and they shoot maybe 10 to 15 sellers a month to me, to leads that I call and say, hey, you signed up, you wanted to get the value of your home, gives them a quick AVM, a Zestimate, and something else. It shoots them into my, CRM, but these are all people that want to list their homes, which you can't get those leads. So just if anyone's not doing that, that's what Krys is doing. And it's really valuable right now, even for me. And I also, another thing is I use Bing because old people love Bing.
I love that. Leads. What did I do? I got like 2 more easy ones if you guys want to try them. So I'm sending postcards now. All these top producers, all these guys that are doing more production than me are sending mail. So I'm like, all right, let's start sending some mail. How do I still be true to myself and send mail? I am now putting my video content on the mailer because why wouldn't I? So instead of just like a picture of the house, I will put a big picture of my YouTube thumbnail with like the YouTube logo, and it'll say scan here for like scan here to watch the video. I'm sorry, I should have pulled up these resources, but I will make sure to share them with you guys.
Do you put the link on your mail or the actual video? Like a link to like the YouTube page, or just the video itself that they can click it and watch it on the email?
I'm sorry, this is for a piece of mail. Like a physical postcard has the
Oh, I'm
thumbnail
seeing. Okay.
printed on it with a QR code that takes them to the video. I had a conversation with somebody Friday actually, and this like puts a bow on them. 2 years ago, I think everybody was chasing deals that were going to convert in 60 days or less. And we were able to have like really healthy businesses doing that, And now transactions are not taking 60 days or less, right? They're taking much longer than that. And I think that's a piece that like a lot of us are sort of relearning that we weren't used to in the past. This person that I'm talking to, that's a seller lead, I don't think is going to transact for like 24 months, but I'm still hella proud of that consultation, right? But it's up to me to nurture them and stay in front of them for that long. And I think that's like where people are missing the mark in the business, especially because we didn't have to do this before. I'll be the first one. It's like, if you weren't ready to buy a house 2 years ago, it was like, get out of my fucking way. Like, I got 4 more people that want to buy a house. I'm sure you guys feel this way. And now it's a little bit different. So the money is in the follow-up. I think I'm getting too dry for you guys.
No.
Here's a question for you, Krys. How do you keep in front of your prospects and nurture them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think staying in front of the prospects and nurturing is the name of the game. So if it's not in your CRM, you're going to have a hard time doing that. So if you're using an Excel spreadsheet, it better be like a really fucking dialed in spreadsheet, because every single time you talk to somebody, Jared, you better have a follow-up date on the calendar. It's like that simple. So like, if you don't have something in the CRM or on your calendar, like if you don't want to use a CRM, use your Apple calendar or Android calendar, just put it on the calendar 1 month ahead. I'm going to check in with that person. So I think that's like a big thing. Everybody has a follow-up date of some sort. Like they're going to get a text, they're going to get a call, something. The other thing that makes it a lot easier is that if you're not keeping the metadata on you guys' transactions so that you can better target people. So what I mean by that is, if you are using a CRM and you haven't categorized your past clients as past clients, that's a good homework assignment, because the 1,000 past clients you have can get different kind of email or a different follow-up than the 5,000 in your database, right? So that's like where the little nuances that seem easy to skip in the beginning, but then when you have a buttload of like leads, you're like, fuck, I wish I would have been more dialed in. So that's when it's beneficial to say, this is a seller. I know this sounds simple, but like, I'm not going to call anybody out, but I'm guessing there's at least a few people that don't have shit tagged. I'm guilty of some of it.
Thank you, Kristen Smells. That was a great question. So I don't want to keep you here all day, but there's a big thing I wanted to go over with you that I find
Please.
super, super impressive is what you do with your community events. Like you do next level client and community events. Can you go over a bit of the stuff you do?
I got to get better, to be honest. Wesley gave me a challenge to have a buyer. I should have had like 2 buyer seminars by now, and I dropped the ball. We do a couple events every year that have been very successful, that are cheap and easy to do. The cheapest, easiest, most fun, lowest investment, lowest like energy is the Santa is a good one, but that one takes some work, Andrew. The movie day. We rent out a movie theater, and getting the theater is pretty cheap. Like on Sundays, they do $5 movies at a local theater, and it's got 300 seats. I want to say it was like $1,200 or something like that, $1,500 to get the whole theater. And then you use that to prospect your database. Don't put it on Eventbrite immediately because randoms will get it, but you want to invite that's when you would tag your past clients so that you could reach out to the past clients first and say, hey, how are you? Just checking in. Did you see that Spider-Man is out? I don't want anybody waiting in line. I just booked the theater. I'm excited to see you. Here's the link. Right. And then it's that simple. You call the database, like you're looking for, do you know why people say client events are the best? It's not just because they show up to a client event. It's because you have a reason to reach out to them. I'm guessing like you don't have to raise your hand, but isn't it a lot easier to call somebody when you have a reason? Give yourself a reason to call people. So like, this isn't a client event, but if you're like, how the fuck do I follow up with people? I'm going to tell you how to follow up with people. You don't say, hey, I'm calling to check in. This is what you do. Go to Yahoo, go to CNBC, go to MSN and find the sexiest, most like controversial article that just dropped. Hey, Kristen, did you just see the news? No, what are you talking about? CNBC just dropped this article that like the Canadian banking system is fucking roofing people. Like, can you believe this shit? My point is give yourself a reason. Give yourself a reason to talk to people. Don't just talk to talk. So the event is a reason to talk to them. Invite them to it. And then when they check in at the event, all we do is have a little like booth with some balloons. You tell them to come 30 minutes early. You take your photos, and there's like so little because they're in the theater, like they're there with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Easy. The Santa is another.
That. Like I'm gonna I'm copying that this year. I know I wanted to copy it last year, but this is the year I copy it, and your Santa idea.
So let me know what movie you're going to pick, because that's kind of what I need to do is you need to look at the calendar between now and December and pick what movie is coming out that you want to make the movie that you take everyone to, and make it a family friendly movie so people can bring the kids. The movies are expensive these days, so people will turn up. People will definitely turn up.
Well, I can use my nephew too, like all his kids and parents, right? Like they would love that.
Chris, can you speak to the difficulty of setting up Santa? What were the challenges?
Santa is not incredibly difficult in its nature, but there are more moving pieces. So number one, you have to find a Santa Claus, and you have to find an outfit for Santa Claus. I use my home inspector. I don't pay my home inspector. And then I have a guy who has a Santa outfit that I borrow, and I just pay to get it dry cleaned. So that's like one logistical thing. The second thing that has made it a lot easier, and this is actually now this last year, it was the best performance, was I outsourced a photography company that took the photo and sent the photo to the client, and they captured the information for me. So before, when I did it myself, and this is because like I was cheap or economical or just trying to think that I could do everything myself, is like I was taking the pictures, I was like writing down people's, I had the team like, give me your email, give me your name, I'll email this out. And then it was like this big production. I have to like correspond who's who, and it was just a mess. So I would outsource the company. I would just look for like a photo booth company, and they have the technology now that like you're going to show up, you're going to say, like I want to take a picture of Santa. They say, no problem, give me your name, your phone number, and your email. And then they text them a copy of the video. They email them a copy of the video or the picture, and they give you all the information. I want to say that the photographer cost me like $1,300 for like 4 hours. It's not complicated. There's just more moving pieces. So we had like hot chocolate. We have cookies for the kids. We have like write a letter to Santa, right? Like we try to do all these like ancillary things because the photo, you're waiting in line and it takes 20 minutes. So it's like, that's why I think it's more work. The movie thing is like a cheat code. It's like you're a saint for taking people to the movies and you don't have to do anything. Like You hug them when they arrive. You snap a photo next to the poster of the movie, and they go in the movie theater. And then you watch the movie, and that's it.
I love that so much. Does anyone else have any questions? I try and keep these under an hour, just for editing purposes and stuff. But if anyone else has any questions, I know Krys. I could ask him questions all day. He's full of knowledge. We're gonna have you back, Krys.
I
But
hope so.
I want to make sure everyone got everything they needed out of this before we end it.
I really
Anyone
appreciate
else? Okay. No, that was amazing, Krys. I love it. I can think of 20 videos I can already get out of this, so I'm very
it.
grateful.
Yeah. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I think you guys know my name, Krys. My handle is Krys Benyamein. For whoever is like not like whoever I don't know on the internet, send me a DM. I'm an open book. Like I'll give you my phone number. Like this is me 24/7, pretty much. I really appreciate you guys having me a lot. This fills up my cup.
Love you, Krys. I'm sorry I'm hungover. It was my birthday.
No, I love you too, man. I loved it all. I loved it all.
I'll be seeing you in Dallas in a couple weeks.
I hope I'm seeing a lot of you guys. I hope I see a lot of
I
you
think
guys.
most of the people here will be popping by.
Andrew, are you going? Oh, I'm excited to see you. Kristen, you're going, right?
Absolutely.
Giancarlo?
It's on the fence. I'm probably just going to San Diego later in September.
For the real thing? Oh, no. Sorry, September. Got
Yeah,
it.
for a personal
Dallas
thing.
is better.
Noel, James,